Good morning. Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome. For those who are here joining me, we've got Paul, we've got Alicia. I believe Miriam will probably be stepping in real soon. Okay, you're Lindsay. Good to know, Paul. Not too far away. So we are going to be doing our practice today. We're back to yoga this week, and we'll be going through a flow practice. Now I've got a little bit of request, which is awesome. I really like to see that because I want to do what you are coming to the class for. So we're going to do, as by request, we're going to do a little bit of toga. And then we're going to go through our flow. Our feet are going to be ready, warmed up. And then from there, we are going to go ahead and flow through a practice and then finish it up with a little bit of an inversion, some shoulder stand, some plow, and then finish off with a nice Zen time, because it is, after all, 31 days of Zen that we're going through right now. So it is day 17 already. I can't believe it. It is going so quickly, and I'm having a lot of fun with them. So happy to have you here. Excuse me. I get excited, I talk a lot, and as a result, I get all choked up. So yesterday, had a great interview with Stephen. If you have not seen it, I invite you to go check it out. It was really, really a very passionate interview. Excuse me, because that's the reason that I invited Stephen to join us and to have the interview, because I know that listening to people who are so passionate about movement, about yoga, about just being out there to be their healthiest version of themselves is really motivating to us all. And that's the kind of feedback that I did get so far. So if you haven't had a chance, check it out. Already had, that was a third interview. This coming Sunday, I'll be interviewing with YouTube's sweetheart in the fitness world, and that'll be Jen. She'll move with Jen. So we'll be chatting about yoga, a little bit about YouTube, just about her story and what drew her to yoga, as well as to the YouTube community. So looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a great time. Anytime we've had the opportunity to chat, it's been so great. It goes so quickly. So really excited about that. So 3 practices this week for you, as well as 2 videos. One of them will be a Q&A about different questions that people typically ask and have asked me over the years about yoga. On Tuesday, tomorrow, I'll be talking to you about different types of yoga as well. So every single day, content coming to you. So let's get started with our practice this morning. We are going to begin, as I mentioned, it's a flow. So we're beginning standing. So if you'll come to the top of your mat, and we're just going to take a moment to bring the feet into alignment underneath the hips. And it's really important to get the foundation solid. And in doing that, and this is mountain pose, just like a mountain, there's a balance. Good morning, Miriam. Just in time. You missed the chit chat and you're ready to go. So we're coming to standing. We're flowing this morning. So starting with the grounding of the feet, prepping them for our practice. And we've got 2K Fragrant Lifestyle as well. Thank you so much. Happy to have you here for the live this morning. So as we stand tall and find that ease of mountain pose, you may want to take a shoulder roll to just release any tension. And in my time zone right now, it's morning still. So we are, kind of working out some of maybe the kinks that you might have from your night's sleep. We are going to just take a moment to tap into the energy that moves from the earth, the Shakti energy moving right through your body. So stacking the joints, you might even be comfortable enough to close the eyes and allow yourself to just feel that strength, but yet ease in your posture. Feeling toes spreading nice and wide as you broaden through the feet, and try to be aware of the connection of the four corners of your feet. So you can feel both sides of your heels grounding. You can feel the both sides of the balls of the feet grounding as well. So feeling really solid, the arches are active and lifted upward. As you lift through the arch, the Padabandhas, you activate the pelvic floor also. So everything is connected. Take a deep breath in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth for the first few here. As we just allow ourselves to do some cleansing, getting rid of stale air. And even if you've gotten up already and you've been out and about for a little bit, you might find that you've been breathing shallow. So this is your opportunity to cleanse out any of the stale air that you might be holding trapped within the lungs and the body, bringing more of that cleansing energy, more oxygen into the body and making the space for it as you get rid of the stale air. And as we move to more balanced breath and feel the breath moving in and out through the nose, let's start to add some movement here. Moving from the heels to the balls of the feet and feeling just how the muscles respond, not only through the soles of your feet, but also through the legs. You'll feel the activation through the midlines of the legs, the fronts, the backs, and then bringing some shifting from side to side as you play around with your weight distribution here. We tend to, perhaps, depending on the individual, we tend to maybe put more pressure in certain areas of the feet. As we center that, let's pick up all of the toes, pressing firmly into the balls of the feet. Again, the four corners, and with all of the toes lifted, bring the big toes down first, and then each and every one of the toes, individually if you can, back down to your mat. From there, pick them all up again. Give those toes a really nice wiggle. And as you keep them lifted, let's start from the baby toes and bring them down one at a time, getting the big toes down last. From here, we're going to gently massage the ball of the foot, which starts to stimulate. Good morning, H-Bar TV. Nice to have you here joining us this morning for our live practice. And change, go the other way around. So if you are a creator, as you pop in and out of the stream, I welcome you to, chat with some of the other creators and kind of let us know what your channel is all about. And then switch it over to the other foot, massaging out and applying the pressure as feels just right for you. And it just feels really good to take care of those feet as they do so much for us. Good morning, welcome, Eris. Nice to have you here once again. Smitty's Fitness is here. So as we're warming up the feet here, I just mentioned for those of you who are creators, go ahead, introduce yourself in the comments. Let us know what your channel is all about so that you can visit each other. Take a nice big inhale, open up, a little bit of a lean back here, and then exhale to swan dive it down into forward fold. As we inhale here, flatten the back, and exhale, sink the hips, lift the heels up as you bring the arms right alongside the ears. Awesome. Smitty's Fitness has a channel for beginners. And then fold once again. We all need to start somewhere. Sinking the hips once again. Pick up those heels once more, bringing them up as you reach through your chair. Sinking those hips. Let yourself fold once again. Slowly unrolling and making your way back up to that tall mountain pose so you can feel the soles of your feet beginning to come to life. I'm just going to move over a little bit so I have a little bit more room to extend the legs. But if you've got space at the top of your mat, you can go ahead and stay where you are. Let's take another breath in, and we're still working on warming up those feet. And that's by request from Paul this morning. He wants to get those feet warmed up and functioning as best as possible in the practice. Thank you, Smitty. I appreciate that. So from here, as we lift the right hip up, so coming up onto the ball of the right foot as you lift that right hip up. You can have a bend in the knee, of course, here. You can bend both of them if needed. Take your left hand under your left shoulder and reach it up. And really press through those toes, the ball of the foot, stretching the arches here. And then bring that down. Bring the heel down and switch sides. Start to lift up the left hip. And as you bring your left hand to the hip or reach it up, nice and high, looking up to the top, toward the fingertips as you get that good twist in the waist. And then as you bring that hand down, bend both knees and slowly reach for your big toes here. So you're going to wrap your peace fingers and bring them around the big toes. Take an inhale, lift the hips, and as you exhale, take a bow. Bring your belly towards your thigh. Open up those elbows nice and wide, crown of the head coming toward the tops of the feet. And then bend the knees and sink the hips, lifting up the right toes, ball of the foot, to really stretch the calf, the Achilles tendon, and then bring that down again. From here, lifting the hips up again. Open those elbows out, bring the belly toward your thighs, and we're just warming up. So don't feel that you have to go to the maximum effort here. And then from here, we pick up the left toes and press through that left heel, sinking the hips a little bit lower here. I'm just going to turn so you get a good side profile as I lift the hips and sink them down again. From here, straightening the legs and rounding the back. Open up those elbows once again. And then as I flatten the back, I'm going to press into my left foot and begin to open up the right leg out to the side, holding on to the big toe, playing with the balance here. And then bring that back in again. So still holding on to those big toes. Now, if it's a little too much to do the big toes, you could just go ahead and hold on to your ankle or just play around with both hands on the floor and just open the leg out to the side if that's what works best for you. There's always a way to make this work, but just have fun with it. And then bring the foot back in again and slowly unroll yourself. Come on, all the way. And roll the shoulders down and well away from the ears. So as we stay nice and tall at the top of the mat, let's inhale and take a little bit of a back bend. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart, picking up the right thigh toward the belly. So we're playing around with balance again. Take a big step back with your right foot. So we come into a nice lunge here. Make it comfortable so you don't have to go too deep. I have a couple of yoga blocks near, but if you don't need them, that's fine. If you want to reach for them, go ahead as we bring the hands down and bring the knee to the floor. So the back knee goes down, top of the foot presses into the floor. So now we're going to stretch those feet in the opposite direction, lifting yourself up to reach the arms tall. Lifting the heart as if you're shining it up, forward and upward, bending the elbows, pressing the backs of the hands toward the wall behind you or whatever's behind you. Maybe it's a window. Open up, shining your heart forward, bringing the hands behind your back to interlace the fingers. See if you can lift those hands up and away and continue to really press into that front foot. And as we inhale, float those arms up. So we want to have a little bit of flow, even though there's some pauses. We are going to tuck those back toes under, press into the right hand as we add a twist here. Reach up and look up. Relax the jaw. And as you unwind, circle that left arm to the inside of your left foot. And bring your back heel to the floor as we come into side angle. Stacking the arm and then extending as you reach forward. Circle that arm all the way down. Tuck the back, keep the back toes tucked as you lift that heel. Walk the hands a little further forward as you lift that back leg up. Now you can stay here, and this is where you could have some blocks to make the reach a little easier. You can bend your standing leg as well, and placing your left hand under the shoulder, bring your right hand to the right hip, and then stack it above your shoulder. Try to bring your gaze up to that hand. A nice long reach through the ball of your right foot as well as the crown of your head. As you float that arm down, step your right foot right behind. So you're tucking your right knee behind the left one. You're crossing the legs here, keeping your right heel lifted as you come into cactus arms. Once again, sink those hips nice and low so we get a good hip stretch, and then bring the hands to your thigh as you round your back, looking toward your navel. Open up, breathe in. Pressing the heart forward. Exhale, tuck it. Tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, look to your navel. Let's do it one more time. Breathe in and breathe out. And as you release, bring your right foot under the hips. Stretch those arms up into a nice soft back bend. Exhale the hands to the heart. And take a moment to pause here. Just checking in to see how that side that you've really activated. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. Welcome, Jason. I was listening to you this morning. Very, very nice. Jason has a great channel. If you like some of the, there's a really good mix of some of the older blends of music. Plenty of Elvis. If you're an Elvis fan, you love Jason's channel. Inhale here with a flat back. Exhale to fold once again. But I think I've heard maybe even some Bob Seger at times, and a really, really good mixture of music. As you bring the hands to the heart, you can sink a little lower here. Pick up that left foot. Step it back. So take your time to bring it back there into your lunge. Press those palms firmly into your heart. Sink the hips, and then bring that knee down to your mat. Pressing the top of the foot and continuing to shine your heart upward. Inhale to reach the arms up. Extend. It's as if your fingers are rays of sunlight that are just bursting out. I know here the sun is just bursting this morning. We've got a beautiful week in the forecast. I hope it's sunny where you are. Take an inhale. Exhale, cactus those arms, and lift your heart. Bring your gaze up, but make sure it stays comfortable for your neck. Good morning, Kathy. Awesome. I'm so happy that you made it. You're going to get really well stretched this morning. Take the arms back again. Inhale. Open up. And the idea of the flow is that we flow with breath. So even though I'm pausing here as we're warming things up, still we're connecting each and every micro movement to our breathing. Reach it up again. Inhale. And as you exhale, planting the hands down, tuck the back toes under. And from here, we are going to bring the left hand under the shoulder, right arm reaches up. So we're twisting at the waist. And from here, we look up to that top hand. And then bring it to the inside of your front foot. Bring the back heel down, toes pointing toward that left long edge of your mat, reaching, stacking the arm. And you want to press that front knee open. And you want to try to get your hips sinking as low as it is comfortable for you. So you may find that, your hips aren't all that low, but it's whatever works for you and your body. Everybody is different. We all do different activities that tighten us up in different areas. We all have somewhat different physiology as well. Even though we are the same humans, we still have some differences in our structure. Now, as we bring the hands forward, we float that left leg up. So really reaching through those toes. Bring your left or your right hand this time under your shoulder. So this, again, you could have a block here to give you a little bit more height. I come up onto my fingertips, and I want to start to revolve my left hip up and back a bit. So I'm stacking them. And the same thing with the shoulders. I want to open up the chest, and if possible, I'm looking toward that top hand. Trying to relax the face, so make sure you're smiling. Don't take yourself too seriously. And then bringing that hand down, I'm going to tuck my left knee behind the right one, stepping my left foot just outside the mat as I sink into Shiva squat. Coming up, cactus or goalpost those arms, press them back, inhale, lift the heart, and exhale to round, tucking in here. Open up again, reaching those backs of the hands, elbows back, and tuck it in. So you're going to feel that in your supported leg. You're going to feel the outer hip getting a great stretch. Breathe in, breathe out. Tuck it in, tuck the tailbone, and release it as you step left foot under the hip. Reach those hands up and back. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart center. So you should be starting to feel nice and warm, feeling the blood flowing, feeling the heat in the muscles and the joints. So as you continue on here, take a moment to check in, checking in right and left bodies, and feeling firmly planted through those feet. Let's take an inhale, reach up and lean back. Exhale, dive down into your forward fold. Inhale, come on up halfway, and as you exhale, step it back. Right leg goes back. Let's bring the right heel down to the floor as we come into a warrior two. Lining up the arms here and reaching through those fingertips, pressing the front knee open. Taking your back hand on the back leg, reach up and over for reverse warrior, peaceful warrior. Pay attention to this front leg. Make sure that it stays bent. Front knee continues to press open as well. And the back fingertips slide down the leg, maybe a little bit further. And as you send your back hip further back, bringing your body into alignment and gently bringing your front arm down into Trikonasana. Taking that top arm up. Inhale to reach them apart. Exhale, taking your right arm right by the ear, reaching away, just like we did in our side angle. See if you can pick up the bottom one, as if you were holding on to a block here, looking to your top elbow, and then gracefully float it back to your warrior two. From here, we cartwheel the hands, taking them forward, pivot on the ball of your back foot, and step it back to your downward facing dog. So first one of the practice. So take a few moments here to really enjoy it as you continue to press your heart back towards your thighs, spread your shoulder blades, shake up the head a little bit, loosening everything up in the neck, shoulders, so you don't want to get too rigid in that space. And then take it forward into your plank. Reach it through as you inhale. Fire up those legs, looking straight ahead past your fingertips. So you don't want to hyperextend your neck either. Just creating a nice long line here. And from here, we soften back into a downward dog. And take an inhale into your plank. Exhale. Sink it back. Send those hips back. And take it forward again to high plank. Breathe in and breathe out as you lower yourself down to your mat. Press into the hands and lift up the chest. Keep those shoulders really well anchored down the back rib cage. Melt the hips down. Smile. Breathe in. Take a peek past your right shoulder. Looking past that right shoulder. And breathe in. Center. Breathe out. Looking to the left. I know you're liking this, Miriam. This is your style. Happy to have you here doing this with me. It's just like the old days. Take an inhale here and exhale. Tuck the toes under. Take it back, downward facing dog. A little bit of walking it out here. Hips shimmy a little bit side to side, and you can either walk it out or you're softly hopping to bring those feet to the top of your mat. Breathing in. Breathe out, fold. Reverse swan dive, open it up. And bring the hands to your heart center. Let's move through to the other side. Same series. Awesome. Good to hear it, Miriam. Thanks for taking the time to punch in your comment. I know when you're moving and you want to just stay in that zone. So I appreciate the encouragement. Step it back, bring that heel down, and let's move up to our warrior two on this side. So same thing, getting nicely aligned here. You're gonna have your shoulders over your hips. Imagine your hip bones are shining forward. So rather than turning to the side, you want to try to get them pointed straight ahead. So you're really aiming to get that rotation, but yet what happens is this front knee will collapse in. So it's a combination of trying to square up the body and really firing up the legs so that you're able to keep that knee open and working toward your baby toe. So lots going on. I think that's one of the reasons that yoga feels so clearing to the mind, is because you cannot help but to be in the moment and be in your body while you're practicing, because there's so much to be aware of. So keep that reach. Breathe, sink a little lower if you can. Sliding those fingertips down. And from here, let's straighten the front leg, send the hips back, reach it forward, coming into your Trikonasana as you bring the front arm along the inside of the leg, back arm up, reaching away from each other. So you might be able to get your fingertips down. You could use a block right here to help support you, or you may have the hand to your shin. You might even have it to your thigh. So it really depends on how flexible you are. See, what's happening is this top hip is rolling back to behind me, as is this top shoulder. So it's more important to have that alignment. So this hip and the shoulder are in a nice straight line. My tailbone is tucked, rather than trying to get down lower. I have long arms, so it's not so difficult for me to bring the hand down low, and then take that top arm, really fire up your core here, or stay as you were, as you stay in the same form. So keeping that front leg straight, reach, 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 and take it back. Warrior two. Feels so good to move the body this way. Take it back into your downward facing dog. Breathe in and then breathe out, taking it forward. Inhale here. Exhale as you bring it down. Inhale, scoop it through, and exhale, take it back. So as we move through a plank, once again, I'm going to take my right hand in a little bit more toward the center of the mat as I pivot to come into a side plank. So as I stack my feet, or maybe I could scissor them as well as an option. Just going to take that into a nice long side line here, lifting the hips up nice and high. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring that hand down and bring the bottom knee down. So you're going to kickstand that leg into a gate pose. So from here we come up and inhale the arms up. Exhale, bring your back hand to the back leg, to the extended leg. So same arm, same leg, reaching up and over, lengthening and really giving that side body stretch. From here, float it back to your neutral position. Breathe in, breathe out. Bring the front hand down and take the back leg up. Maybe even bring the arm alongside the leg. So as you lift it up, you want to feel good stretch in the inner thigh, good activation in the outer glutes. Great work in your core to maintain your alignment. And then as you bring it down, we slowly move back to a three-legged dog. So reach that top or back leg, lifted leg up and back even more. Really ground through your hands. Bend through that top knee. Start to turn it to the sky. Turning it, looking under your left underarm. Can you see your toes? Give them a little wiggle. You're waving your hello to yourself and getting up on the ball of the left foot as we get up on the fingertips of the right hand and flipping it over into wild thing. Reaching up, maybe sending your left foot further away. Opening up, reach up and over with your right arm. Opening the chest so beautifully. Breathe, hanging out here a bit. And then take it back. Three-legged dog. Once again, reach it up and back. Find your spacing between the hands and your back foot. And as you draw the knee in, tuck it in to the body. And as you pivot onto the inside edge of your left foot, reach the right leg through. So you're coming back to a one-legged side plank here. So you reach through, reach. Lift the hips a little higher and circle it, step it back. Three-legged dog. Bring the knee in. Step that foot right between the hands to get nice and long here as you stay with the back foot, back toes tucked under, reaching up to your high lunge. From here, bring the palms to the heart. Get long and then add a twist as you plant your left elbow outside of your right knee. Looking past that top shoulder and stepping into your right foot as you bring your left heel towards your bottom, holding that one-legged twisted chair and stepping in. Unwind. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Wrap the arms around the backs of your legs. Give yourself a beautiful hug here as you squeeze in. Give the head a little shake. No, yes, a few times. And as you release it, slowly unroll yourself to come all the way to standing. Nice and tall once again. Reset your form. Take a moment here in mountain pose, Tadasana, as we began the practice to just ground and feel the position, feel the strength in the legs, in the core, breathing, finding that pace of breath that continues to flow. So even though we're standing still, breath is flowing. Little micro movements of release in the shoulders, in the chest as it continues to open. Feeling that little tuck of the tailbone as we keep the Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha engaged. So from here, let's take a full inhale, reach it up. Exhale, take it into a forward fold as we bow. Inhaling to come up halfway, and as we exhale, stepping back with the left foot. Coming into a nice long lunge. And from here, planting the hands to step back to your downward facing dog, lifting the tailbone, pressing the heart through, and giving your tail a little bit of a wiggle here in your downward dog. From here, let's move it forward into our high plank. Inhaling at the top. Exhale. Lower it down to chaturanga. And scoop it through to your upward facing dog. Pressing through the tops of those feet. Sinking your right hip. A little turn here. It feels so good for the hips, the waist, and then to the other side. And then center it. Take it back. Downward facing dog. So from here, in your downward dog, take a few breaths. I'm just going to turn myself around so that I don't have to have my back to as we move on to that same sequence on the other side. So moving forward, bring that left hand in a little bit as I position myself into a side plank. Lift it up, open it up, take the arm right alongside the ear. Length, nice length here. Feel yourself really strong. You can feel the inner legs working here to keep you in that alignment. So you've got nice, you're not sticking your behind. There's no deeper crease here. You want to kind of open up that crease as you align yourself. And from here, we bring the bottom knee down, placing it right between the hand and the foot. From here, let's float it up to gate pose. Open up, breathe in, breathe out, and taking that back hand to your back leg, right leg. Reach it up and over. Nice long line, sliding it down. Keeping the ribs lifted as you continue to reach through the fingertips. Breathe, look up past your elbow if you can. That's going to ever so slightly make it a little deeper. So those little increments are awesome in sensation. Bring it back to your neutral. Take the hand, place it down, float the other one up as you float the leg up. Now, if this doesn't work, you don't have to float the leg up. You could simply keep it down on the floor, elongating your reach. See if you can lift that leg up maybe a little bit higher as you work on your balance. And from here, we circle that arm down, making our way as we tuck the back toes under into a three-legged dog. Reach it up and back. So make sure that you're solid in your grounding here as you reach back. Bend the knee and point it up to the sky. Let your heel drop towards your behind. Look under your right arm. And once again, you're just going to wave to yourself here, keeping those hips nice and high. And as you do that, press into your right hand, come up onto your left fingertips, up onto the right ball of your foot, a little pivot in it as you fall into your wild thing. Reach it up and over with your left arm. Maybe stretch your right foot away from you to lengthen even more. Really accentuating length in the hips, in the anterior body, and then flipping it back to your three-legged dog. Reach it back, draw the knee in, and turn to the inner right sole of the foot, reaching the leg through, reaching through your hand as you extend, lift those hips, lift, and take it back. Three-legged dog. Inhale, exhale, step that foot to the top of the mat. Ground firmly as you make your way up into your high lunge. Finding stability here. Strengthen the core, strengthen the legs as you bring the hands to your heart center. Breathing it long, breathe out, taking your right elbow to the left leg this time. Pressing them together, looking back past your left shoulder, staying strong and active as you begin to pick up the right foot and squeeze it in to your chair. Bring that in. A little wobble here on the side. Maybe keep the toes tucked. And then step it in
unwind. Bring yourself to forward fold, Uttanasana, as you wrap the arms around the backs of your leg, giving yourself a great big hug. Breathe in, breathe out, squeeze. And then release the arms. Let them dangle as you unroll yourself to come all the way back up to standing tall in Tadasana, mountain pose. The feet are once again your anchor. You ground down into those corners. Feel your energy, feel your strength, feel your breath. Notice the difference, how you feel now compared to when you began the practice this morning. And let's inhale to reach those arms up and float yourself into forward fold. Inhaling to come up halfway. And as you exhale, planting the hands down, reaching back with the right leg. Nice alignment here of the hips, the shoulders. And as I continue to keep my right hand grounded, bringing my left hand to the left hip, turning to open up and stack the shoulders and reach the arm up to look up. As I replace the hand down, reaching way back to tuck those toes under, coming into that long lunge, bringing my left hand to the inside of the left foot. I can walk the left foot out a little bit further, bringing the knee down, placing it down, and just giving myself time to have the hips sink down. I can relax the top of that foot if I like, and continue to melt my way down toward the mat. So my left knee continues to open out to the left. My hips continue to sink down. And as I settle into it, I can maybe start to walk myself further forward. And this is where I could use the blocks too, to give me some additional support. I can make my way down onto the forearms. And as I settle in here, I can open up my knee out to the side, maybe a little rolling onto the outer edge of the foot, my left foot. So it's as if I'm trying to take a peek at my sole of the left foot. Now I can use my left hand on the thigh to pry this open, looking up, and maybe even reaching up with my left arm to wrap it around my lower back, so I get even further into that beautiful twist. That feels really awesome for the lower back and for the hips. So much going on in this position. As I release and inhale, bring the hands back in again, and tucking the back toes under, lifting the knee up. I start to walk my foot back in, and from here I'm going to step my right foot. And so I've got about 1 meter difference between my front foot and my back foot to come into pyramid pose. So what I want to do is I want to level my hips here and keep both legs as straight as possible, always without locking the knees. My shoulders are level also. My belly button is supporting my back here because I want to make sure that I am using the Uddiyana Bandha, reaching the head forward and reaching my tailbone back. Breathe in. I can hang out here, maybe open up those arms, adding a little bit more challenge to it. I can bring the hands, either interlace them behind my back. Let's do that for this side. We'll add another option for the other side as I take a bow and let my arms melt over top of my left, or belly to the left thigh. Arms reach up and over toward the mat. Again, I'm pushing my left thigh bone into my left hip socket. So I'm not twisting my hips. I'm really working on keeping them level here as I continue to let myself get deeper. Every breath, doing that. And finally, as I separate the hands, I can bring them to the top of the mat and lifting up into standing splits to bring my belly to my thigh, nose toward my shin. I can use one of my hands, maybe both of my hands, to find some balance here, or not. So just play around with what you've got available today. And finally, step that right foot beside the left one, flattening the back, opening up the feet a little bit wider apart as I breathe in and breathe out to sink the hips nice and low here into Malasana, pressing those palms open as I lift the crown of my head, tuck the tailbone, and breathe. As I bring the hands back down again, really pressing through those knees a little bit more. Now I can play around a little bit here if I like, with the hands spread really wide open at the top of the mat, and keeping a softness in the elbows and playing around with my crow. As I rest the shins over the triceps, is the easiest way to get into that pose. And see if you can come into a little baby crow, maybe a full crow, balancing there. And then once you've had a good try at that, we make our way back to bring the feet in alignment with the hips. Inhaling with a flat back. Exhaling to fold and reverse your swan dive. Open those arms, stretch them wide, and really opening up, bringing palms together with a little bit of a back bend. Exhale and bring the hands to the heart center. And breathe easy. Time is flying right by this morning. I'm so happy I have 2 more practices this week that I can do with you. So happy about that. Looking forward to each and every one. Take another inhale, reach it up, lean back, look back. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, flatten the back, and as you plant the hands down, we are going to reach back with the left leg this time. And as I maintain grounding through my left hand, I bring my right one to the hip and revolving through this balance as I reach with my right hand. So revolved half moon, a balance, reaching here, looking up, relaxing the face, smiling. This is birthday week for my friend Paul, who's tuned in this morning. He made a few of the requests. So, this is your week, Paul. His birthday is on Saturday. So by all means, bring me your requests and I'll deliver for you as we move into your birthday week. So as we bring the hands down, let's take a big step back with the left foot this time, bringing the knee down to the mat and bringing it far enough back so that we have that sensation of really opening up the hip. So from here, taking my right hand to the inside of that leg into lizard pose. I'm going to walk my right foot toward the edge. I can stretch out the top of my left foot to give it more comfort, continuing to just use each and every breath. Again, it's flow, and it's a flow of breath as well as some movements. So some of these movements might be just micro movements. So as I continue to melt my pelvis down, I can stay up on the hands, or I might feel quite comfortable continuing to walk the hands forward and bringing myself down onto the forearms. So if you can't get all the way down, you can kind of get partially down. This is where you can use your blocks and slide them one underneath your forearms and let it kind of give you that halfway support. From here, you open up on the outer sole or the outer edge of your right foot, peeking at your sole of your right foot. And you can kind of feel, again, you've got that micro opening that happens with every exhale. You can use your right hand on the leg to open it up. And ooh, boy, that feels so good for me on this side, especially. This is my tighter side. Always working to get more balance on that side. Now I can extend my right arm up, bringing it across the lower back. So just adding on if it feels right for you. That's the beauty of yoga. It's totally non-competitive, and it also it allows you to pace yourself. It's self-paced. What I'm doing is I'm your guide, and then you can adapt and adjust as feels good and feels right for you. So as we release that, taking that hand down, and this time let's leave the right foot opened out wider as we tuck the back toes under. And as we step the left foot wide as well, we sink the hips nice and low to come back into Malasana. Prayer squat as you bring the hands to your heart, pressing the knees open with your elbows, lifting your gaze, sinking the pelvis nice and low. Let's reach for those peace fingers once again, just like we did at the beginning of the practice. Wrap them around the big toes as you sink your bottom and hold on to those big toes as you stretch the legs out long. So from here, hopefully you've got enough room behind you. I hope I have enough behind me as we continue to hold on. And let's see, let's play around. I haven't tried this for a long time, so I don't know how it's going to work out. But as we hold our boat down, you might want to bend your knees if you're not very flexible through those hamstrings. But we're going to really activate the core and roll right back to bring those legs up and over, holding on in our plank. So as you continue to keep those legs straight, hips lifted, holding onto your big toes. Hold it here. Now you may let it go and see if you can perhaps wiggle up a little bit higher on the shoulder blades. And you can use your hands to keep your back supported to make sure those hips stay high and that you do get way up onto the tops of your shoulder blades. You can interlace the fingers if you like and press the baby fingers into the mat, keeping those legs straight and strong. And let's see if we can bring one leg up here, moving up toward kind of a half shoulder stand. Now you might have to bring the hands to your lower back. Ooh, that can be challenging. Bring it back down again. Keep pressing into those baby fingers. Try the other side. Reaching that leg long. Reach it, reach it, reach it. And bring it back. From here, bring both hands to the lower back, floating both legs up. So you've got some good support here. And again, you want to stay high on the shoulder blades, or the top of them, as you stack and align your body, firing up those legs. Let's flex the ankles, open up the legs, nice and wide, let gravity do this work for you. From here, as you bring the legs back together, bend your right leg, wrap the left one around. Eagle legs, staying up high on the shoulder blades. And unwind, reach them long, flex the ankles, bring them back, bend the left leg, wrap the right one around this time, squeezing those legs together, keeping the hips high. As you unwind, stretch the legs long, bring the hands down if you can, and begin to roll one vertebra at a time as you slowly release. Active Mom Netherlands, welcome. So happy to see you. And yes, we all need stretching, and certainly if you've just come back from a long walk, this is ideal. So from here, we really keep that powerhouse fired up, and let's begin to work our way down. Now, if you need to do one leg at a time, or another option is always to have The hands supporting to give you a little extra support if you find that your pelvis starts to rock a little bit or your back starts to arch more. So let's bring those legs a little closer to the floor, hovering, holding here. Take another breath in and exhale. Release, just hover above the floor. Can you come maybe an inch away and just hold me here? And then relax and release. Let that go. Stretch out nice and long. So from here, it's all nice and easy peasy. We're going to stretch, lengthen, and open up the arms nice and wide as you walk your feet in. And as you keep a good bend in your knees, slide your hips to the left and let your knees release to the right side. So with the knees stacked, you can use your right hand and just gently draw your knee towards your chest, squeezing it in, and you can look away from the legs as you keep gazing towards your left hand, closing the eyes and just breathing ever so softly. So Paul, I hope that you enjoyed your shoulder stand and plow. Added that little toe hold to give the feet the little bit of activation that you also requested. So we combined it all into one. So that's your early birthday present. Glad that you liked it, Alicia. Happy to hear that. It felt really, really good for me as well. So I hope you guys had a good time. We're not quite done yet. Let's stretch and twist on the opposite side as we reposition the spine. Slide the hips to the other side and then let the knees fall away to the left. Keeping that right shoulder down and open. You can use your left hand in this instance to bring your right knee, your top knee, a little bit closer to you. Again, as you relax to it, you can close your eyes and just let your breathing find an easier, smoother flow, very effortless at this point, much less concentration on your breath. And then gently let it go. As you come back to the center, a little reposition here of the spine and kind of adjusting anything that needs adjusting. A little wiper blading of the legs can feel quite lovely. And then stretching those legs out long. Bring them a little bit wider than hip width and kind of work out the wiggles in the shoulder blades as you turn your palms upward. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Keeping the eyes closed. Feeling the softness of the breath and just feeling the ease of surrender that overtakes you. Muscle group by muscle group, limb by limb. And feeling this sense of gratitude for getting yourself to the mat today, for allowing yourself the time to step away from all of life's demands on you and treating yourself to some self-care, a combination of strength, of stretch, of peace. So as we prepare to move into our day, you can bring some movement to your hands, to your feet, gently waking them up, taking the time to circle out wrists and circle out ankles. Turning your head ever so gently from one side to the other side. And as you stretch, as you open up, just as if you were waking up for the first time today, take a big inhale to stretch out. And then exhale to bring the knees in, squeezing and massaging out your back a little bit here. A little TLC for the back. A little bit of circling of the knees. Feels very gentle and lubricating to the hips. And from here, you can either roll right through the center or through the side to come back to seated as we bring our practice to conclusion. So you can bring the hands to the heart. And as you start to rub the hands really briskly here, generating some warmth between your palms, nice and vigorous, nice and warm, and then placing the hands, cupping them over the eyes, just let the head gently fall back. Feel that warm energy just filling up down the center column of your body, flooding you with that beautiful energy. Take a moment to soak it in. Maybe set an intention here for the remainder of your day. And I give thanks for the time that you've taken to be with me today on this live. I hope that you'll join me throughout the rest of the week as we continue on 31 days of Zen content every single day. You can let me know what your requests are in the comments. I see some likes. I'm very happy to hear that, to see those comments. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and I will see you tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll be bringing a video to you that tells you all about the different kinds of yoga. Wednesday, I'm here at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I'll look forward to seeing you then. So namaste, my friends. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.